Welcome. You're just seconds away from the Brian Brawdy Show, where listener participation is strongly encouraged. Well, unless, of course, you're easily triggered, then listener discretion is strongly advised. And if you fall into the latter camp, why don't you just mortal up already?
You're listening to the Brian Brawdy Show here on RadioBri.com. Unfettered, unfiltered, unafraid.
Just a little bit after noon. Welcome to the Brian Brawdy Show, episode 542, Don't Be Prey, or as I like to call this hour, the greatest moment in the history of the world to be alive, because I believe that you and I are both still vertical makes today an absolutely great gig. I don't care about all the other mashugana going on in the world. Absolutely great gig, greatest moment in the history of the world to be alive. We are going to go ahead because we're getting a lot of texts and a lot of emails. We're going to go ahead opening the show at the top of the hour. We're going to open the phone lines. We're going to open the text lines. We're going to open the email lines that you may know. You can also reach us here as well. Then we're going to jump right into the More About Minute because we have so much to talk about today. I know, right? I don't want to sound like Sean Hannity. Oh, but we got to get going. We got a really packed show, right? Like, remember, who was that guy that way back when on TV used to go, was it Sid? No, not Sid Caesar. Guy Lombardo? No, I can't. I'm not. We got a really big show. We got a really big show planned. Well, we do have a really big show planned today. One of those shows where they're like, Brian, look, this could be the end of you doing anything here on Mug Pamphlet, so you better calm down a little bit before you do the show. That's what we have coming today. So, Wayne, what do you want to do first? You want to open the phone lines or you want to hit the Mortal Up Minute?
Let's go ahead and open the phone lines.
All righty then.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
You can text us. You can scratch it out at 833-667-8251 is the hieroglyphic of it, also toll-free. And you can send us you can text us, that comes in. You can also send us an email that comes right in here into Studio South. Wayne, in the great state of Michigan, which is odd because we're both under lockdown now. Wayne, your state's locked down. I'm not allowed to go anywhere after 10 o'clock in the state of Ohio, or as I like to call it, oh, how I'm out of here. But it's not after. I can't leave after 10 o'clock at night. There's a curfew now. I didn't know if you knew that. But so the southern studio, drop me a quick email. Brian@RadioBri.com. It is a pleasure to have all your messages, get the emails, gets the texts, and to you, thank you for a couple of folks that reached out already this morning to remind me to mortal up. Thank you so very much. And for the one person that said to me, that attacked me the other day, going, you turned out to be just like Rush Limbaugh. Have an absolutely fantastic journey. Who knows wherever you're headed. Thank you so very much for that. I appreciate the glowing thumbs down. Thank you very much. All right, Wayne, let's go ahead and jump to the Mortal Up Minute because it fits right in with Don't Be Prey, and that'll lead us into everything else we're going to do at the top of the hour.
Time to Mortal Up with Brian Brawdy.
It's way too easy these days to get down on yourself, discredit your inborn natural resources, your authentic vigor, subsequently defaulting on the one shot you have at making a dynamically amazing life for yourself. Scaling the stacked against you seems an even more significant challenge given that misery truly does love company. Those already surrendering, capitulating to the crazy at hand, are all too ready to welcome you to the doldrums with open arms. Their reality regime works full-time to pack the bandwagon and pass out the coolant. Good news, it's on you. Rubber stamp their misguided brand of surrender or square your shoulders with the moment at hand, rallying the very best parts of you, facing down the opportunity embedded in any obstacle or challenge. You choose, wave the white flag, or draw your sword from the stone of life. I'm Brian Brawdy, reminding you to mortal up. It's in your DNA. All right, it's in your DNA. That's what we're going to talk about today. This whole concept of pulling the sword from the stone. It most certainly worked for King Arthur, right? When he got a chance to pull the sword from the stone. And all we're simply suggesting is that if you're here, there's a sword that comes with you. There's the ability to pull that sword from the stone of life. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't jump onto the bandwagon of everybody from the vampire class, everybody from the reality regime it's perfectly capable and comfortable. They're just thrilled to talk you into how easily triggered you are, how easily offended you are, how easily baited you are into a fight, how easy it is to just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to your own natural, your own inborn, your own innate capabilities, as we like to call them, your natural resources. There are all kinds of people. And why I think that is because it's true. Misery loves company, right? And if they can say, well, I'm packing it in, I'm not going to challenge myself at all in life, then it's easy for them to welcome you because they're like, you've had too much, all this stuff about motivation and inspiration and carrying on. So it's just easier for them to encourage you to think of all the reasons why you're not worth it. But we think you are worth it. Encourage you with all the reasons why you should just cave. Let other people tell you, remember the old commercial, go Greyhound and leave the driving to us? Well, they're perfectly capable and perfectly comfortable letting that happen because they want to be the bus driver. They want to be the pilot. They want to be the captain of your ship. There's only one problem. You're the captain of your ship. And that's why, especially with the stories that we're going to lead with today, let's do this, Wayne. Let's go with lowlifes making headlines for today so I can get all that out of my system and we can focus on what we're going to talk about the rest of the day because, we had a lot of response yesterday over on Mug Pamphlet. We had a response on Twitter and some of the other social media outlets that we're on. We're on Parler now. We're kind of dragging our feet, kicking and screaming, but we're on Parler. And so whatever that means. But in any event, some of the fights that we've gotten into, let's go with our lowlifes making headlines for the day. And then that way I can, I can get into, just some of my craziness. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, drum roll. Where are we? Oh, who is this young lady? Oh, let me see. Brittany S. McAllister, 29 of Washington, D.C. Let's see. A BLM protester seen assaulting Trump supporters at a Million MAGA march, ID'd as a third-year journalism statement. Well, apparently she thinks the kick is mightier than the pen, right? You're going to be in journalism. Oh, you know what? Maybe, Wayne, maybe she is a future guest on our Jousting with Journalists, right? Because she thinks kicking people while they're down is more important than writing a story about it. Let me see. She's a third-year journalism student at Howard University and works as a freelance journalist. Oh, does she? Let's hope she can pen some letters from prison where she belongs because that's where she's headed. All right, Wayne, so let's do this. Let me just say, because there's all kinds of people screaming at me, right? Oh, do you ever pick on anyone else? Do you ever go after anyone else? Is it always these people? Let me just say this. I don't give a rat's tuchus. I don't. About the color of your skin. I don't care about the color of the mask that you're so certain is going to save your life. I don't care about the color of root for in college. I don't care. I couldn't care less about so many of the different things that other people find important. But here's the deal. This young lady took it upon herself. You believe the videos, if you believe, and I'm assuming, Wayne, I don't know if she's been arrested yet, but they'll find her. If they got a name, they'll find her. They'll track her down. They should, as I've said. And here was the real dilemma for me, Wayne. I toyed with this. Should this be a lowlifes making headlines segment, or should this be a return to vendor segment? And I'll tell you why. You kick another human being who's down on the ground, unconscious, because he was sucker punched by one of your cohorts. You kick that human being while they're lying defenseless on the ground. I have absolutely no use for you. I don't give a flying crap what color your skin is. I do not care. I don't care what color political party you vote for. And if someone made fun of me, said, oh, well, why don't you post some of the other ones that are doing it? Great. It's your site, your show. You post any picture you want. I'm telling you, I don't care who you think you vote for. I don't care who you think your protector is. I don't care who you root for in the vampire class. I couldn't care less. You kick another human being when they're unconscious and lying on the ground, you need to go to jail. And that's why, if it were on me, Wayne, I'd make it absolutely aggravated assault first. You'd have a 10-year prison sentence the moment you're convicted, right? The moment you're convicted. And here's the thing to budding criminals out there. You know, I've made a career about going after criminals, especially when I was a cop in New York. Here's the thing. Everyone's got a camera now. They're almost like navels, like belly buttons. Like, right? Everyone's got a belly button. Everyone's got a camera. If you're going to commit a crime, people are going to videotape you. And if you don't realize that now, you're too stupid to be set free to walk around our streets. That's just a little bit of a disclaimer. But the second one is, you're going to kick in the face. You're going to sucker punch. You're going to beat someone with a flagpole. You're going to beat someone with a stick that's unconscious and lying on the ground. They need to find you, charge you, indict you, convict you, and send you straight to the box where you belong, because you have such a depraved indifference to human life. And I don't want to hear all the people calling, well, they had a really rough childhood. So did I. You don't see me running around kicking unconscious people lying on the ground. Oh, well, they had their upbringing was really tough. I don't give a crap. Let me just say, for all the people going, well, don't you want to hear the backstory? No. Backstory ends for me the moment you kick another human being. The moment there's someone unconscious lying on the ground, totally defenseless. The moment you kick that person, I couldn't care less about your backstory. I really couldn't. No one could. No one with any kind of human mind does. You don't kick someone when they're unconscious. You don't kick someone when they're absolutely defenseless. You don't sucker punch someone. You don't knock someone out by hitting them in the jaw from behind. You don't hit them with a baseball bat. You don't hit them with a club. You don't hit them in the head with a skateboard, because aren't you a tough guy? Aren't you just the cream of the crop? Oh, your parents must be so proud. Oh, well, my parents, they were mean to me. Really? Never saw that coming. Really? Don't give a crap about your backstory. Stop kicking people when they're on the ground. Stop using weapons against defenseless people. It's a trend, Wayne. It's unbelievable. All these people, what is today, like Wednesday? Didn't we just do a show yesterday about attacking an elderly couple with a flagpole because you didn't like their political opinion? What has happened to people? I'll tell you what's happened to people. There are human beings left, but there are a bunch of human gettings, and they think you and I give a crap about how they feel. Oh, well, feelings, Bri. Feelings are very important. It's important that you allow these people, right? You just let them, they need to be able to voice their feelings, right? And we have to respond to things. No, we don't. Nobody gives a crap about your feelings. Nobody. You can kick another human being while they're on the ground. You need to go to prison. You need to go to the box. You need to go there for 10 years. Someone asked me the other day, oh, do you think you'll ever run for public office? Heaven help us all. Because if I'm ever in charge, you sucker punch another human being, you kick a human being that's lying defenseless on the ground, you're going to the box for a decade. No chance of parole. I don't give a good damn about your backstory. I feel lighter.
Now that you got that off your chest.
I know. Maybe we should go to the quick so I can take a quick sip of, this is green tea. I love green tea. It's great. The spritzer still hasn't arrived yet, Wayne, right? So maybe we should run to, let's do a quick little segment.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
Right, so you get a free get-out-of-jail-free card. If you express a view, it's not held to the sponsors, not held to me, not held to anybody, right? So feel free. Well, I guess we're like Parler in that way. I see this Parler guy on TV everywhere, right? And now a big Marky Mark over on Mug Pamphlet said, oh, no, we conspire. We get together with Google and with Twitter and with the Spitter and with all the rest to make sure that we're on top of speech. Let me say, can I, Wayne?
Well, slow down now. No, that's not what he said.
It is God.
He said,
go ahead. It is absolutely what he said. Absolutely what he said.
Conspire with the others. And his words was for security reasons.
Yeah, I don't care what his backstory is. What I'm telling you is he admitted under oath to a Senate subcommittee yesterday that Twitter and Facebook and Google all team up to get together. They all share information. They're all in collusion. I think they should be charged with a RICO statute. Again, speaking to the category of, my God, let's hope Brian never gets in power. They should be charged with a RICO statute. Because what he did admit to was that, oh, yeah, we do have this software that allows all of us to talk together. And that, you know what that is? That makes you a robber baron. And you know what else? It makes you in violation of the antitrust. So I've never gotten into this whole discussion about antitrust. They should be broken up. But I'm telling you, Wayne, after listening to little Marky Mark from Mug Pamphlet, after seeing the performance from Jack over at Spitter, I get why there's people that are ticked. I get why you can't put up a story about Bunter Hyden without it being taken down. Believe me, I feel your pain.
You can say Hunter Biden now.
Oh, you can say, oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, regardless of his backstory, and they say, oh, yeah, well, we use it to make sure there's no grassroots effort to overthrow the government. Just how gullible. You know, I was on a phone call. We have a very special guest coming on the show Friday. We'll talk about it a little more tomorrow, but he and I were like, talking off the same page. How gullible do we seem? The three tech giants conspire to make sure there isn't the ability to overthrow the government. We're not conspiring, right? By putting out a story about Hunter Biden, we're conspiring to overthrow the government? No, we're not. We're conspiring to overthrow a crime family. They should be charged with RICO, and they should be held accountable, and they should be, if it's true, right, in terms of the violation of the antitrust rules and regulations, the laws, they should have to obey them like everybody else. And just like, who was the company you were telling me about yesterday, Wayne? Crimp in your style. MailChimp. So help me through this, Wayne. MailChimp goes into the private email communication between you and the people that have asked to subscribe to your email. So what is it? MailChimp is now a part of Big Brother. MailChimp is a part of Big Tech. Is that true?
It apparently is.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's a well-known product. It's used by hundreds of companies.
Not this company, right? We don't use it.
No, we use our own.
We use oh, that's very cool. Very cool. Oh, we used to use Entreport. I remember that, but we don't use MailChimp. That's great. That's great news. All right, look, it's entirely possible, I'm not, but it's entirely possible that you think I'm wrong. Crazy people come on the internet all the time. You're welcome to give me a call, 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1. You're welcome to text me, 833-667-8251. Or, of course, you can drop me an email if that's more your style. You can drop me an email at brian@radiobri.com. Here's what I think, Wayne. Whether you kick someone that's unconscious lying on the ground or you try to control what they say, it just makes you a bully. And I realize now I'm just tired of bullies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just tired of bullies. I'm tired of bullies in the vampire class. I'm tired of the bullies in big tech. You know the number of friends that say, oh, I'm in Facebook jail. Really? Oh, well, we're doing it for the common good. They don't pay these security guards enough, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Bullies, one and all. All right, Wayne, I caught back up. It's 20 after the hour. What are we going to run to? Oh, we've got this story. You're going to have to love this. And this coming to you from a dual production, 2 states, both under lockdown, right? Both under lockdown. You're going to love this next one. But let's do our quick little break, and then we'll kick it around for a minute. We'll get to that next segment.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests. All right, we love our guests. Unless, look, let me just say this. I almost messed up there, Wayne. If you're a person that thinks it's cool, if you're a person that thinks it's a good idea to kick another human being while they're lying unconscious on the ground, you're the guy that I saw in the video you showed the other day that walked up and kick that 65, 70, 75-year-old man from behind. If you're, I don't know why you would be listening to the show, but if you're a person that thinks that's a good idea, that's a great martial arts tactic, Brian. That's just a great one, right? Right. Yeah. If you're that kind of jackass, you should call in. We should discuss it, right? We're not going to discuss your backstory. I don't care how bad you were mistreated as a kid. I really don't. All right, Wayne, what have we queued up for our very exciting. This next story, can't even tell you how excited I am. Of course, it'd be help if I knew exactly what the next story was, but I'm sure once I find out what you have in the queue, I'll be very excited about it. Let's just leave it that way. Oh, what is this? Now, Los Angeles. Thank you, Wayne. This is a throwback to yesterday, I believe. What is this? The Wall Street Journal Market Watch. How crafty. They created that W and watch with a green arrow pointing up. What if the market's going down? What if it's heading into the red? Tell me the people at the Wall Street Journal are smart enough that if the stock market just takes a dive for the day, is that market watch, is that W in red, and is the arrow pointing down? It's like a real-time ticker, Wayne. Is that what they're saying? That market watch at the Wall Street Journal, if stocks are taking a dump, right? If they're just on their way to the floor, does the W in watch become red, and does the arrow point downwards? Now I'm impressed. If the Wall Street Journal was doing that, then I'm like, hey, this would be that's just a great app. All right, but the Los Angeles Crimes, which is odd. We call the New York Crimes the New York Crimes. The Los Angeles Crimes and the Associated Press. 65 coronavirus cases found among the World Health Organization staff in Geneva. A cluster. I love this. A cluster indicates that a health agency's strict prevention measures were not sufficient. Hold the door, Wayne. What are you saying? Wait a minute. Hold on. The World Health Organization, their prevention measures were not sufficient enough to spare it from the very pandemic they're telling us about. Am I reading that correctly? Or I might need a new pair of glasses. Am I reading that correctly?
This is, again, these are the people out there telling everybody how to handle this.
Yeah, well, they were also telling everybody way back when. If you remember, nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Go about your business, right? Nothing to see here. Wuhan Wee's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to blow in anything. I really wouldn't worry about it. So these brainiacs, 65 of them, right? They're their own cluster. That must have been a hell of a Halloween party.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, that was great. All right, so here's the thing. Let's and this one, Wayne, I really owe you for this. So this one deserves a drum roll. I know what you're getting ready to drop now. I know the order they're coming in. I'm very excited about it. Give me an idea, right? I'll just go with this, and then you drop it, and we'll talk about it. Go ahead, Wayne. Hit us up.
There you go.
Now, CIDRAP, Centers for Infectious Disease and Research and Policy. CIDRAP. From the University of Minnesota. They ought to work on a shorter acronym, right? Like Ohio. Oh, how I'm out of here. It's very pithy. All right. COVID spread among Marine recruits despite quarantine. All right, let me say this before we get into it, Wayne, because I did see this article. You and I spoke about it. And I also should say this. Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall, Wayne, of our early morning show prep meetings? We should record those audios sometime and they go, Brian, you can't say this, or this, right? And then we go over, yesterday you cussed 4 times, down from 7 times the day before, so you're trying your best. You can't say this. I think people would love that. All right, so here's the thing. For all of you that have had the privilege, the honor of serving, then you've been through boot camp. You've been, right? You've been through a military indoctrination camp, whatever you want to call it. So you got to know that to go through this boot camp, every portion of your every waking minute, every second, every nanosecond is controlled by the drill sergeants, right? Is controlled by the people in power. Because like breaking the back of a wild horse or breaking the spirit of a wild horse, they got to break your spirit no matter what to get you to cooperate. Because for some human beings, not all of us, right? Running towards the sound of machine gun fire was never really anything that bugged me, but I understand there's people that they need to have that spirit broken, right? So every living instant of your waking day is controlled by the people in charge. Wayne, would you agree? You're a vet. Would anyone else that has an experience about being at boot camp, did you get to tell your drill sergeant, oh, I'd really rather not put on a pack today and go for a 10-mile hike? Was that your experience, Wayne?
Nope. And if anybody tried, it would be a 20-mile hike.
That would be a 20-mile hike, and you'd get a blanket party by the rest of your mates when you got back because you had to open your yapper and they had to walk a full 10 miles more, and my drill sergeants would add weight to your pack. I mean, it starts to where when you get up in the day, they use a measuring tape to make sure the corners of your sheets and your blanket, they use a measuring tape to make sure everything in your foot locker fits exactly to code. There's nothing left to chance. They micromanage everything. I don't think it's necessarily, Wayne, because they care about your health and well-being. I think they just want to try to break you. They want to see who's going to take the day in and day out. No. You even have to sit a certain, you have to eat, you have to hold your silverware a certain way if you get to eat that day, right? So
Well,
if you're right?
Even a quarter has to bounce so high off the bed when you make the bed.
That's right. Well, those hospital corners, I still laugh, right? You go in today and go, man, that was a time in my life. But in any event, keep that in mind as we get ready to read this next story. Don't forget the phone lines are open. And I'll take, as Wayne said, don't forget you get to bounce a quarter. A quarter had to bounce so high off of your bed. If you've got a story when you were in basic training, when you were in boot camp, when you were at, Quantico, Lackland, you were at West Point, Annapolis. If you got a story, give us a holler, 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1, or send us a text, 833-667-8251. You can also send us an email, brian@radiobride.com. All right, so let's get to this. What I'll do, Wayne, is we'll read the particulars, and then we'll come back right after the bottom of the hour. We'll come back and we'll kick this around. So here's the thing. A study of nearly 2,000 U.S. Marine Corps recruits this is what I love, Wayne, who underwent a strict phase. The whole thing of, if you're a recruit, everything is a strict phase. But in any event, they underwent a strict phased quarantine before starting basic lockdown. Everyone's wearing the masks. Nothing to see here. Wash your hands. Gargle with the hand sanitizer. Whatever you're going to do. But a very strict regiment before basic training. Identified several cases of asymptomatic, meaning, I feel great, asymptomatic COVID-19 spread, suggesting the need for the development of safer methods for similar settings involving young adults, including schools, sports, camps, amid the pandemic that we're in the middle of. That's right. For those of you listening, it's a dog whistle. I said pandemic. Wink, wink, nod, nod. In the study published yesterday in the New England Journal of Medicine. Wayne, can I ask you a question? The
Sure.
New England Journal of Medicine, they're a pretty smart organization, wouldn't you say?
Well, they're supposed to be, I would say.
They're supposed to be. I mean, it's not like they're the World Health Organization, right? It's not like they're the WHO. Please. Not like look, if you're doing such a great job, WHO, keep your own people from getting COVID. All right. In the study published yesterday, New England Journal of Medicine, I think they call it JAMA, I think. Is that right? Journal of Medicine? I don't know. But in any event, New England Journal of Medicine, researchers at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai Hospital. I've been to Mount Sinai Hospital. And the Naval Medical Research Center studied 1,900 volunteers during a supervised quarantine at a closed South Carolina college campus after they had quarantined at home for 2 weeks. All right? Closed campus after they had quarantined at home for 2 weeks. 14 days, nobody in, nobody out. You're not allowed to lick doorknobs at the handles of washrooms, public washrooms. Each participant was subsequently tested for SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, on days 2, 7, and 14, right? So do the math, 2, 7, and 14. At beginning, for the most part, end of your first week, end of your second week. The college quarantine consisted of wearing face coverings, physical distancing, regular hand washing, some more regular hand washing, and daily temperature and symptom monitoring. 2 trainees were housed in each dorm room, right? So they didn't violate their 6-foot rule. And each recruit class was housed in a different building and dined and trained at different times, right? So there was no interaction among them. All spaces were cleaned between classes, and most exercise and training was done outdoors. And guess what, Wayne?
I already know the answer, but go ahead.
It still spread. So when all of your beloved leaders of your vampire class call for more lockdowns, I heard something the other day where a couple of these governors are saying, well, if you have anyone over for Thanksgiving, you need to wear a mask while you're inside.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, Gov, I get an idea. Why don't you come look through my front door, look through my window, climb onto the back porch, look through my sliding glass doors, see if the people coming over to my house for Thanksgiving are wearing masks. I think you should. I really do. I think you should. So let me get this straight, Wayne. In the study of these nearly 2,000 Marines who, if you're given an order to quarantine, you follow that order. That's the one thing you learn to do in boot camp, regardless of the branch of the military that you're in.
Absolutely.
They still came down, right? Just like the people at WHO. Now, the people at WHO, let me just say this.
Now,
this is in Geneva, Switzerland.
Well, but before you go too far.
Yeah, that's too late.
The percentage.
You've been listening to this show? That's too late. I've already gone too far. Go ahead.
The percentage of people with COVID after this lockdown and quarantine.
Yes, sir.
Was higher than the general public.
Oh, well, they are Marines. Sit up straight. Sir, yes, sir. Or ma'am, yes, ma'am. Don't want to mansplain.
So basically, the study basically says that all these lockdowns, quarantining, cleaning up, doing all these precautions are doing nothing.
Are doing nothing. So we're losing our economy. More importantly, we're losing our liberty. And all of these measures do absolutely nothing at all. Here's a question, Wayne. In Ohio, we're locked down from 10 to 5. Is it now that coronavirus is more of a predator at night? Coronavirus lives in the shadows, right? Maybe coronavirus is a true vampire. Oh, it can't stand sunlight, right? Can't do it. So let me get this straight, right? Even at a school that I'm familiar with, the teachers stop opening the handles on doors to let the kids out because apparently the vampire COVID has a grip strength greater than a gorilla. And it can grip onto a car handle at 55. Well, I never drive the speed limit, but you know what I mean. 59, 60, it's 65. Look, I never go faster than 72, right? The COVID grips a hold of this door at 72 miles an hour. Man, that is one hell of a Wuhan disease. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So it lurks around at night.
Not during the day, at night.
Not during the day. Not during the day. It has the grip strength of a full-on gorilla. And it has the shelf life of a Hostess Twinkie. Is that what you're telling me? So this thing not only, so why, break, okay, thank you. Why? A quarantine from 10 to 5, you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. Oh, how I'm out of here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will, wait, did we take the break, Wayne, already? No, we took the bottom of the hour break. Oh, what's that for? Oh, you're doing the Macarena. All right, we're going to take a very, like a 10-second break, and we'll be right back. Thanks. It gives me a chance to take another sip of my tea.
It's the 1-minute break.
Oh,
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. Buckle up. Yes, it is. I don't know what state you live in, but chances are pretty good if you're not under lockdown. You will be. I don't even know why I'm laughing. It's ridiculous. Can I tell you why I'm laughing, Wayne? Because the world is full of snitches. I got a text just now in the break for someone saying, you wouldn't believe someone tried to blow me in for forgetting to wear my mask into a stop. They said gas station, but into a stop and rob, right? They've as one would. Sometimes you pull up, you get gas, right? You get some gas, and then you're like, oh, I forgot. And you run in to pay, and you forgot, right? You forgot to wear your mask. Well, now someone's throwing you under the bus, according to this person who just sent me the text, throwing you under the bus. So not only do we have a group of cowards running around, now they're cowards and snitches. I have to tell you, if you're driving down the street, and it's a little chilly now in this part of the country, 24 degrees when I got up this morning at 4 a.m., if you're driving down the street in your car with the windows rolled up, I'm pretty sure you don't need to wear a mask. Right? But these same people are busy snitching. Not saying everyone that wears a mask is a snitch, but right now I get this text going, oh, someone tried to blow me in. Someone tried to blow me in for not wearing a mask. Well, now we get this story, and I'm just going to read a few of the particulars, Wayne, if I might. Here it just says asymptomatic COVID transmission revealed through a study of 2,000 Marine recruits. Now, this guy is no schmubba, right? The guy that heads up the report, Stuart C. Sealfon, MD, professor of neurology at the School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, and the senior author of this report. We were honored that the U.S. Navy gave us the opportunity to collaborate on studying SARS-CoV-2 in Marine recruits. This is a difficult infection to suppress in young people, even with close supervision of their mask wearing, social distancing, and other mitigation measures. We find that regular testing, not dependent on symptoms, identifies carriers who can transmit the Wuhanese. We hope this information helps in developing more effective measures to keep military installations and schools safe. The study data revealed asymptomatic spread of the virus even under strict military orders for quarantine and public health measures that most likely experienced better compliance than in the I don't want to say real world, right? Because people have gone to basic training and go, that was my real world, in the outside world. They've experienced better compliance than the outside in other youth settings like college campuses. The researchers noted that daily temperature and symptom checks did not detect any infections among the recruits, right? That largely transmitted within a given platoon where trainees tended to be near one another. The study, it goes on, it focused, right? And what they found, an identification of 6 independent transmission clusters defined by distinct mutations, indicates that there were multiple independent SARS introductions and outbreaks during the supervised quarantine. So here's a supervised quarantine. Lock everything down. Nobody in, nobody out. Surrender all of your freedoms. But wait a minute. Well, let me see. This virus, whether you believe it was made in a lab in Wuhan or not, right? Whether it was made or it occurs naturally, a virus is going to mutate. It's a predator. It's going to do what it can to get past our defenses. But according to this report, the data from this large study indicates that in order to curtail coronavirus transmission in group settings and prevent spillover in the wider community, we need to establish widespread initial and repeated surveillance testing of all individuals regardless of symptoms, right? Because you can be asymptomatic and you can be doing it. Our study highlights the power of the naval medicine research to deploy and overcome many logistical hurdles. All right, so here's the deal. They still got it. And you see with the way some of these people wear masks, you go, wait a minute, that mask is just, but I saw this video, Wayne, where a guy is smoking a cigarette and he's got the mask on. He's got the much ballyhooed mask. He's exhaling the smoke. It's coming through the mask. It's going everywhere. So I would just suggest, as I've said before, don't bite your nails. Don't pick your nose. Don't perform eye surgery with your small finger. Oh, don't lick doorknobs from public restrooms. And don't swap spit with complete strangers. And I think you're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. But it's not about governors saying you're only allowed to have 3 people. Not like, I know what you're thinking. Governor Newsom said you can't have any more than 3 people, and he's having dinner with 12. But look, it's a dual process, right? They are above the law. It's a dual. They write the laws from on top of them, right? Let's just be fair to these politicians. The vampire class, of course, they're right. They're standing on the law. They're above the law. It's us minions, right? It's the masses that are subject, apparently, because Governor Newsom can go, right, to a party as large as he wants. Nancy Pelosi can throw a shindig for all the incoming House of Representative members till, of course, they get caught. Then they're all apologetic. Then the plans change. Then everything's going to be different, right, Wayne? So, yeah, so the belief that it's due process, you and I know that's not true. It's dual process. Read the Fifth Amendment. Dual process. One for them, one for the rest of us. So just take your lockdown along with your stuffing. And I got to tell you, Wayne, I, for one, people say, oh, well, you have to have strict compliance to the number of people you can have at your house. My wife makes great stuffing, right? So for me, I'm like, great. I don't have to share the 2 drumsticks. Good with me.
Lost you for a
Hello,
minute.
Wayne.
Lost you for a second.
Yeah, that's okay. I figured you were busy doing something. And it's fun. Like I say, in these pre-show meetings, we talk. You go, how about this? And I go, yeah, we did that yesterday. And you're like, I don't listen to you when you're talking. I don't pay attention to what's going on. All right, there we are. We're back.
Yep.
All right. So when I was in law enforcement, take a guess. Take a quick guess as to the most violent day of the year. The most violent day of the year for responding law enforcement. Patrolmen or patrol women. You know, you're wearing a gun, a badge. You're in a uniform. You're not undercover. You're not a detective. You're not a criminal investigator. You're a patrolman. Guess what is according to the uniform crime reports from the FBI, guess what the most violent day of the year is?
What day?
Thanksgiving. So I understand people going, oh, it's all about family. I got to tell you, it's the most violent day of the year because most families couldn't care less about family members. Not all family members. I'm not saying everybody, but why, Wayne? Why? Is there more violence when you're called to a family dispute? And mostly it's in the evening on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe your football team lost, you're full of mashed potatoes and gravy, and your brother's wife took the last biscuit or whatever. So now it's Hatfield and McCoy's. It's full on, and they call 911 to call the cops to come in and save the day because it's just a free-for-all. Most violent day of the year. I'll be curious if this Thanksgiving, with all the lockdowns, everyone, stay away, stay away. Right? Stay away. I'll be curious to see what it's like, right? This year, if there are going to be less calls for patrolmen to come and separate family members. Now, and it's not even family members or like neighbors. It's family members. I'm not separating household A from household B, or the patrolmen aren't. It's family members that are being separated on Thanksgiving. So apparently all we're thankful for is the ability to ground and pound. I guess. I don't know. All right, Wayne, I want to give a shout out to a couple people if I could, only because for all the people, and it takes a lot of courage. But here's the thing, to Kevin, super appreciate it. Melanie, super appreciate it. And I'm talking to the people that help share the message of this young budding martial arts journalist who decide to kick someone while they're lying face down unconscious on the ground. So for helping us spread the message, thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Melanie. Thank you to Bobby. You know who you are, Robert. No, I wasn't calling Robert Bobby. I was calling Bobby Bobby. Robert, thank you. Gina, thank you. And here's why I think the thank yous are so important, Wayne. Sooner or later, normal human folk, another Robert, thank you. Richard, thank you. Tony, thank you. Jack and Ron, thank you very much. Normal human beings, normal people that have compassion, that have understanding, normal human beings that would never kick another person that's unconscious lying on the ground. We got to start standing up, right? And that's why I'm calling to everyone that will listen. There should be, you sucker punch or you kick another human being that's unconscious on the ground, mandatory 10-year sentence, right? Remember the old 3-strike rule or whatever. Mandatory sentencing for drug offenses. Oh, wait a minute. So we can come up with a mandatory sentence for someone that's sitting in their house doing bong hits, right? But we can't come up with a mandatory sentence when you kick someone that's lying unconscious on the ground. There should be a 10-year sentence, flat out, not maximum, not minimum, no chance of parole. Don't care about, you know what I mean? Don't care about your backstory. 10 years, no questions asked. Cue the gavel. Next case. And I think if more and more of us, oh, well, you know, there's some mitigating circumstances. They had a tough childhood. So did I. You don't see me running around kicking people while they're down. Oh, they had a really tough childhood. Yeah, you want to compare battle scars? Why don't you call me? Let me know how tough your childhood was. And we'll compare, right? Or I could show you tattoos. We could compare head scars. We could compare tattoos if you like. Maybe we could do that. Or why don't we just compare childhoods? And if I was able to make it out without kicking an unconscious human being on the ground, you have two choices. You can make it out, or you have a depraved indifference to human life and you need to go in the box for a decade. How's that, Wayne, for cruel and unusual punishment?
I agree with you 100%.
Well, here's the thing. People say, well, you know, that violates cruel and unusual. No, it doesn't, dipweed. Bet you thought I was going to cuss there, huh? Dipweed, it doesn't. It's not unusual. As soon as we exact the first mandatory 10-year, the decade in the box, soon it's no longer unusual, right? Like 2 seconds later, right? Once the jury comes back and says 10 years and the judge goes, oh, it's the jury, right? Dr. Robe sitting up there hitting the gavel. Once it says 10 years, right? It's no longer unusual for the next case. I think, look, if you can punch, you can kick another human being when their back is turned. You're a tough guy. You can kick someone that's got to be 50 years older than you, and you kick him while he's kneeling from behind. 10 years. And I hope you rot. I hope you rot in the box. 10 years, mandatory sentencing. No questions asked.
I don't believe she's even been arrested yet.
Okay. Well, can you check? How can they not arrest this woman?
I looked it up.
Don't they have her name, her address, her phone number?
I've been looking it up while you're on the air and can't find anything on an arrest.
Oh, well, she's probably hiding. She'll go, oh, I got to burn these yellow jeans. She's probably hiding. Oh, no. And I would like to share the names of everyone that shared the post, and we don't have time for the show, but thank you very much. Let me give a quick shout out to the Hardcore News Archive. Let me say quickly hello to them. Thank you for listening. We super appreciate it. Oh, and the Red, White, and True 2020 folks, a Facebook group that I belong to. Thank you so very much for joining us. It is a pleasure as always, and we're looking forward. Oh, here's a little bit of breaking news, Wayne. We have one of the bigwigs, one of the founder of Red, White, and True 2020. He'll be on the show Friday, so we're really excited. We'll have more details as they become available. We'll have a few more details about that, but he'll be joining us on Friday. So thank you all so very much. We super appreciate you helping us spread the message of, look, if you have a depraved indifference to human life, it's time for you to be off our streets. I don't want to hear it. All the crying, all the hand-wringing, all the different things. Oh, how troubled your childhood was. Join the... How troubled your childhood was. I can't even do it without laughing. Yeah, join the show. Get in line. Take a number. All right, Wayne, I know. Ooh, it's 10 till. I know. We're ready for my favorite segment.
Time to mortal up with Brian Brawdy.
It's way too easy these days to get down on yourself, discredit your inborn natural resources, your authentic vigor, subsequently defaulting on the one shot you have at making a dynamically amazing life for yourself. Scaling the stacked against you seems an even more significant challenge given that misery truly does love company. Those already surrendering capitulating to the crazy at hand, are all too ready to welcome you to the doldrums with open arms. Their reality regime works full-time to pack the bandwagon and pass out the coolant. Good news, it's on you. Rubber stamp their misguided brand of surrender or square your shoulders with the moment at hand, rallying the very best parts of you, facing down the opportunity embedded in any obstacle or challenge. You choose, wave the white flag, or draw your sword from the stone of life. I'm Brian Brawdy, reminding you to mortal up. It's in your DNA. Here's the deal. I believe it's in your DNA, right? If you're here, you have the ability to run the red carpet. You have the ability to make absolutely certain that life is what you want it to be. All right, we're in the closing 10 here. The Brian Brawdy Show. Don't forget, you can give us a call, send us a text. Thank you very much for those who have. 833-667-8251. Or, of course, you can hit 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1. We'd be happy to take your call. Also, if you want to send us an email, don't forget, brian@radiobri.com. And we just don't want to hear from like-minded folk, right? There could be someone that thinks it's a good idea listening, right? There could be someone that thinks it's a great idea, right? To kick, that's right, kitten, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. It thinks it's a good idea to kick someone while they're on the ground. So we'd love to have it. Oh, and I promise tomorrow I'll be bringing the bullhorn. So here is if you've got a bullhorn, why don't you come find me and my bullhorn offer? And we'll be doing that tomorrow. Aww. I know. It was supposed to be today, but it'll be tomorrow. I promise. So we'll have that as well. All right. One quick text also coming in right now says, "Hey, Bri, I love the show. Thank you, and mortal up." Yes, Wayne, here was something I was thinking of doing, is even saying to people, hey, what's an example of how you mortal up? Send us a text. What's the example of how you fall back on your authentic vigor, your buried logic, your natural resources? How do you fall back? Because the world is full of stories like that, right? Of people that, against absolutely insurmountable odds, as I said last week, if you're not outnumbered, why even get up off the couch? So stories of people that have channeled their natural grit, that have channeled their resources to make an amazing life. I would love to hear some examples. Give us a text, 833-667-8251. And, of course, again, the email, brian@radiobri.com. All right, Wayne, what else is going on with you? What's new and exciting? I didn't have much of a chance to catch up with you today. What's going on in the world?
Excuse me there for a minute.
Oh, that's okay. I drink during the show too. Sometimes it's the only way to get through it.
I am beginning to work on something I'm going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, which I think is going to be some sort of segment series on the show.
Mm-hmm. Like to hear it?
Which is going to do a comparison about what's happening here today versus what happened years ago in history.
Okay. All right, cool. I like that. That's a little, all right. That's a little, that's kind of like, that's enough of a hook. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because a lot of what's going on today has already happened in past history.
Oh, so you're anchoring it in facts. I like that. Anchoring it in facts.
I'm going to basically be taking what's happening to specific issues that are happening today.
Okay.
With specific issues that actually happened years ago.
Ooh. Wow. So like ancient wisdom and modern science.
Yes.
Right? Everything that happened in the past, you're bringing it full scale and go, wow, history really does repeat itself.
Absolutely.
I like that. All right, Wayne, hold on 1 second. I'm getting this in. Hold on for some breaking news.
Check this out.
I know, breaking news. You got to love it. Oh, this is rich. You're going to love this, Wayne. All right. So the people that do the tallying let us know that as of today, the Georgia Senate runoff, they've spent $120 million already in what's being called a historic spend cycle. So, Wayne, these public servants these people that are watching out for you and me, brother,
Mm-hmm.
have spent $120 million because they're just good souls.
Because they want that. It's basically control of the Senate.
It's basically control. So these Lex Luthors don't have enough power in their own life, so they need to exercise power over other people. So, well, please, everyone's saying, well, they're public servants buying into the wing sauce, left wing, right wing. It's still the same vampire chicken.
Mm-hmm.
The vampire class, they're spending $120 million for control, right, which will come down to be the control of the Senate, not so much the House anymore. I mean, Nancy's up against a huge math problem. She's seeking to be the leader of the House, and she's got one of the smallest majorities in decades. Now, Wayne, help me out. You're the political science expert. Since she's got such a small majority, could people cross over and vote for someone else to be speaker?
Yes.
So Republicans could say, well, we just don't want Nancy, so we're going to throw our weight behind who we think would be the lesser of two evils.
Right. A moderate.
A moderate. Oh, I like that. Oh, but I'm going to miss seeing Nancy in her mask and all of her designer ice cream and her 2 deep freezers.
Yeah, There's almost a civil war going on in the House right now.
Civil war. I'd be careful throwing that term around, wouldn't you? Right? I'd be careful with that term. People, here's another thing. Oh, and we didn't talk today about Mortal Up Alliance. Can we do that tomorrow, please, Wayne?
Sure.
So here's another thing we keep talking about that Wayne and I are working on, and everyone here at the Brian Brawdy Associates working on, but the Mortal Up Alliance, right? And as we say, Mortal Up, because it's in your DNA. We'll be talking about that tomorrow, all new. Wayne will be dropping some new stuff, so we'll have that done. But yeah, Wayne, so let me make sure that I have this straight. Someone from the Republicans could vote for a more moderate, and Nancy will be out the door.
Well, yeah. Well, it's basically boils down to there are a bunch on the Democrat side of the House right now.
Okay, maybe AOC.
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be great, AOC?
They are basically saying that the AOC and the squad have taken too much, have pushed too much, and they disagree with everything that Nancy Pelosi's been doing and what that group has been doing. They're saying it's going too far left.
Ooh.
So there are a bunch of Democrats right now who are looking to put somebody else in as speaker.
Oh, interesting. So that's why she's struggling to hold on. Oh, when you talk about what AOC, I wanted to play this one more time. Someone had asked me yesterday, hey, we missed that. Could you play it one more time? So here we go. Dear caller, you've reached 911. Unfortunately, the number you are dialing from is on our Defund the Police supporters list. So let us be the first to wish you good luck in defending yourself, your family members, and your property. Please press 2 if you would like to be placed on the medical examiner's post-mortem list, and a social worker will reach out to any surviving family members after your passing. Goodbye. Goodbye. And Wayne, let me just ask you a question. With all the people talking about how do we change the way we vote on elections here in this country, I think, right, the extension of the Obama phones, I think every person old enough and every person that's registered to vote, we make sure they have a cell phone. And that number sticks with them throughout. So your cell phone becomes the way you vote. Oh, well, there's your cell phone number. What are you doing there? What does this person say? And everyone, so it's just like you text in who you think, right? And there's an independent body checking it. But I think your cell phone, so if you vote to defund the police, you have to do it with your cell phone number. And if you call 911, they basically get to hang up on you, right? Or do you call 911, and if you voted to defund the police from that cell phone, you get a steady business signal. That's all I'm suggesting, right? That yourself, everyone's got a navel. Everyone's got a cell phone these days. That's how I think we should vote. All right, Wayne, I know we got to get out of here. Let me thank you again, as always. Thank everybody on YouTube. Thank you for the increase in numbers there as well. And here on Mug Pamphlet, over on Spitter, thank you very much. Also, let me thank everyone listening at RadioBri.com. Those numbers are really growing. We love riding shotgun. We love being your virtual hitchhiker. We love being out and about, assuming you're not under lockdown. or maybe you're in lockdown. We'll follow you around the house, right? We're like a dog with a Frisbee in its mouth. We'll follow you around wherever you're going. Thank you so very much. And if you're listening to the rebroadcast on iHeartRadio, iTunes, or Spotify, thank you so very much. And Wayne, as always, thank you for everything you do. We are out of here. Remember, until the next time we talk Mortal Up, it's in your DNA.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.